Movie studios, they are racing to bring the story of the controversial Wikileaks founder to the big screen, but they are having an awfully tough time doing it for many reasons. Orden, she is in Beverly Hills. She's been exploring this for us. She's right here. Tell us, just for people who haven't, Erica, followed the story of the Wikileaks founder, Julian Assange, why is his narrative so compelling that it would make for a good movie?
Sure. Well, he's a hacker and political activist, and he is the founder of this organization that has released thousands of classified and otherwise previously secret documents, cables from the U.S. State Department, most recently documents that he says are that WikiLeaks says are emails from the Syrian government, and he is also, in addition to that work, he has been involved in a number of personal matters over the last couple of years. He's wanted in Sweden. He's wanted for questioning in Sweden regarding alleged sexual assaults, and he's now seeking asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy in the UK.
All right, so the movie studios
have taken a lot of twists and turns.
The movie studios have a good narrative arc there for sure. Let's talk about why it's proving so tough for them to make this film, because it's got to be almost impossible to get his rights in some ways, and also, what's the ending?
Well, they don't actually need his rights. A movie studio can make a film about an individual without securing the rights to their life story. That actually happened
like with Facebook.
In the case of The Social Network. Right, exactly, where they did make a film based on a book and based on information concerning a pair of lawsuits involving Mark Zuckerberg. So they don't need Julian Assange's life rights, but they do want to make sure, studios want to make sure that they have the full story and can tell the full picture of this group and of its founder. And so because Julian Assange and because WikiLeaks continues to, release new information, continues, to have developments in its story, they're not quite sure where to wrap up their tale.
I mean, and of course, in the case of The Social Network, I mean, there were all sorts of people questioning, how true was The Social Network to the true Facebook story? Was it fair to Mark Zuckerberg? Was it not? But nevertheless, despite those questions being asked, you can still have a very profitable movie. Now, let's talk about some of the studios that are in the horse race here. Let's rank them. Who's in the lead?
Well, if we're talking about who's closest to getting a movie out there, that would be Universal. Universal is in post-production on a documentary that's directed by Alex Gibney, who's known for his work on documentaries concerning Enron and various other subjects. And they're reasonably close to having a cut of the film, and they don't have a release date, but they're certainly closest to the finish line. Other studios involved in that have projects in development are DreamWorks, HBO Films, Annapurna Pictures, which is the company run by Megan Allison, the daughter of Oracle CEO Larry Ellison.
So, Erica, in terms of the narrative arc of this, I mean, anyone who's written any kind of a story or a book, I mean, I came upon this myself when I was writing a book that is about a true story that is evolving in real time. Where do you mark your beginning and your end? And it's so tricky here because they could start this movie, they could come out with it, they could start production of it, it's very expensive, and then the biggest event yet could unfold in the story. How are they wrestling with that?
That's right. I mean, mostly, for the most part, they're simply holding off on finalizing scripts, on bringing in directors and actually shooting films. the HBO film, for example, hasn't begun shooting yet, even though they have in fact hired a director, Charles Ferguson, who's known for Inside Job. And so mostly they're waiting to see what happens so that they can avoid that kind of situation. Studios don't typically tackle real life news events for this reason.
For this very reason. But they're doing on this one. This is a big one.